So, our poem is Since Feeling is First by E. Cummings. I am Katelyn Hernandez, and my partner was Aliette Martinez. Since feeling is first, who pays any attention to the syntax of things will never wholly kiss you. Wholly to be full, while spring is in the world. My blood approves, and kisses are a better fate than wisdom. Lady, I swear by all flowers, don't cry. The best gesture of my brain is lesser than your eyelids flutter, which says, we are for each other. Then laugh, leaning back in my arms, for life's not a paragraph, and death, I think, is no parentheses. And here we provided a little QR code, so scan it to get the poem on your phone. Okay, so the biography of E. Cummings. E. Cummings was born on October 14th, 1894, in Cambridge, Massachusetts, to Rebecca Clark and Edward Cummings. He became a famous poet, painter, author, and playwright. In his lifetime, he had well over 2,900 poems and a total of 4 plays written. He earned his BA and MA at Harvard University. After being an ambulance driver in World War I, he settled in New Hampshire, where he settled down and began to publish some of his most famous pieces of poetry. He made frequent visits to Paris, where he would work with artists such as Pablo Picasso, and he would admire their work and ultimately become inspired. And that's a little picture of him in the corner. Okay, so stanza 1. Since feeling is first, who pays any attention to the syntax of things will never wholly kiss you. The theme of the first stanza is the primacy of emotion and feeling over rationality. It implies that paying too much attention to the syntax and language rules can limit one's ability to fully experience deep emotional connections and intimacy. The tone is rebellious and passionate, emphasizing the importance of feeling while dismissing the importance of syntax. And the point of view of the poem is written in the first person, and it seems to be the speaker expressing their perspective. The diction is straightforward and simple, with words like feeling, attention, and syntax being used. The simplicity of the language draws attention to the idea that deep emotions are more important than the complex language. The stanza contains a rhythmic quality with the repetition of the S and TH sounds in words such as since, syntax, and kiss. The stanza also has an AB-AB rhyme scheme. There is minimal imagery in the stanza, but the idea of syntax is abstractly depicted as something to do which the speaker advises not to pay too much attention to. The stanza consists of 4 lines with irregular line lengths. The irregularity of the line lengths is a characteristic feature of Cummings' style and reinforces the idea that emotion takes precedence over a rigid structure. The entire stanza is figurative in its message. The speaker personifies feeling as if it's an entity that should come first, and it contrasts with the idea of paying attention to the syntax of things, which is a metaphor for the rules and structure of language. Stanza 2. Wholly to be a fool, while spring is in the world. The second stanza's theme is to show how a person who does not take advantage of love around them is foolish. The tone is wishful, while he is trying to present how the beauty of love is important to maintain when you're with the one that you love. The first person perspective is maintained. The diction remains simple, but is on a more profound and reflective quality with the words life and death. The imagery in the stanza is more vivid, evoking the image of spring and the speaker's blood approving, symbolizing the excitement of a new life and love. The stanza consists of 2 lines, which the second line being slightly stronger. This structural variation adds emphasis to the celebration of love and spring. The sound is celebratory and vibrant, with words like fool, spring contributing to the joyful atmosphere. The term fool is used figuratively to suggest that acting irrationally for the sake of love is not only acceptable, but desirable. It is a celebration of passion and romantic impulsiveness. Now for stanza 3. My blood approves, and kisses are a better fate than wisdom. Lady, I swear by all flowers, don't cry. The gesture of my brain is less than your eyelids flutter, which says. The third stanza's theme is how the expressing the true emotions of how the poet feels about the physical aspect of love by using elements to show how kisses could mean more than the wisdom that comes with being in a relationship. The tone of this deep affection he has for his lover. The poet conveys a strong connection and emphasizes the power of physical intimacy it has over the intellectual feature you gain from the emotion of love. And the first person perspective is maintained. The diction remains relatively simple, but it emphasizes the contrast between kisses and wisdom to underscore the idea that the former is more valuable. The imagery in this stanza is minimal, but focuses on the metaphorical value of kisses and wisdom. The stanza consists of 4 lines and does not have a traditional rhyme scheme. The structure here is more focused on conveying the idea rather than adhering to a specific form. The sound becomes more subdued, with a shift from the celebratory tone in the previous stanza. The stanza still contains some alliteration, like kisses and wisdom. The speaker uses figurative language in expressing that kisses are better fate than wisdom. This is a metaphorical comparison that highlights the value of love and passion over intellectual knowledge.
So, going to the next stanza, it says, We are for each other. Then laugh, leaning back in my arms, for life's not a paragraph. So, the theme, the message that the poet is really trying to get across is that when two people are for each other, when they're meant to be with each other, life should not be taken very seriously. They should be able to experience every moment and cherish everything that they do with each other because it should be something special, it should be something meaningful. He's really trying to get across to the reader that he feels a sense of closeness when he's with the person he loves. And he feels like when they are with each other, there are really no problems. He really wants the person that he loves to know that they should be able to lean on him no matter what. So, no matter what they're feeling, if they're feeling sad, if they're feeling happy, if they're feeling upset, they should always count on him no matter what. The tone in the stanza, as most of the stanzas that we've read so far, it is very lighthearted. The poet has a sense of joy. He feels like he found everything he needed in this one person, and he feels like this is the person of his life. This is the person he loves. The point of view, again, it's first person. Diction. So the diction is very simple. It doesn't really use anything. There's not anything complicated. It has a sense of joy. So, for example, by using the words laugh, that's a positive word, and it just shows that these two people enjoy each other. They enjoy each other's company, and they're two people that belong with each other. The imagery is very intimate. It creates the sense that these two people have such a strong connection that they're always laughing with each other. They could always count on each other. It's just a very close relationship that they have with each other. And I feel like the poet just really wants to get that idea out to each other. When he mentions, for example, in the first line of the stanza, we are for each other, he's emphasizing the fact that they are meant to be with each other and there is no one else that he would ever want. Oh, maybe I skipped the stanza. Yes. So the structure of the stanza is only 3 lines. There is no rhyme scheme. Me and my partner have come to the conclusion that since it is built up of only 3 lines, very short lines as well, and there is punctuation, it creates a sense of stability that there is in a relationship. So, for example, we thought that if it was more of like a run on sentence, that would kind of show that the relationship isn't as stable, and it would show that there's something going on, or that's what the author would present us with. But That is not the case here. So yeah, the sound. So the sound of the stanza is a very mutual understanding between him and the person he loves. There is a lot of comfort between them. There is a lot of positive emotions that they feel for each other. And he just really feels that they belong with each other no matter what. And he thinks that they are meant to be with each other. Figurative language. So he kind of compares life to a paragraph of it not being a paragraph. And going back to what I said, it creates like a simplicity. It's not complicated. He is able to be with this person. It's very easygoing. And this person's just easy to love overall. And that is something that he finds very important when being in a relationship with someone. So moving on to our last and final stanza, stanza 5. It is one line. And death, I think, is no parentheses. So the theme here, it is more a reflection on life and death. So throughout the poem, we could see that he's talking about, spending his life with this person, that he found the love of his life, that this is all he ever wanted. But in the final stanza, it is a line speaking about death. So something that may not be the most positive thing ever. He's trying to suggest that life is not simple. It is not something that someone could just breeze through. But with this person, he feels like he could do anything. He feels like he's so in love with this person that he is able to continue loving this person even past death. So even if he loses this person and this person dies, he could still hold that amount of feelings and that amount of positive emotions towards this person no matter what. So death would not be an interruption to that. So the tone, he's again reflecting, he's contemplating life, he's addressing death now, which is something that no one really wants to address, but he's being realistic in the sense. The point of view states first person. The diction is simple, but by using the words death and parentheses, it has a weight on the poem now, because now it's no longer just talking about love and life, it's talking about what goes beyond life. So, what happens after you lose that person that you love? Is the love still there? And he feels that love is even more powerful than mortal, being alive. It goes on and on. So the imagery here is more abstract. It's abstract imagery. And again, deals with life and death. And it creates these images in the reader as more of like a comparison. Now, like this one line is basically just a huge contrast to what the rest of the poem is about. The structure, like I said, it's one stanza, very simplistic though, still following that tone. The sound, it's a little more reflective. We kind of saw a shift. So instead of it being joyful, it's more somber, it's more calm. The figurative language, this is really interesting. The poet compares death to parentheses. So parentheses is suggesting that there is no period. So there's no ends. There's no cutoff to love. Love will always go on. And I guess he's just trying to compare that is not what death is. Like, death is usually an end to someone's life, but in this case, there is no end to love. When you truly love someone, there is no end. So, summary, the overall meaning of the poem. So, the poet just wants the reader to know that you should not overanalyze love. Love is supposed to be simple. Love is supposed to come naturally. You should never force love. And you should always know that when you find the person that you want to be with, it should be very meaningful. And you should also find your best friend in a sort of way. This person should have all the qualities you could ever imagine and everything you want. And the connections that you make with this person to be special. And you should always cherish the moments that you have with this person, because, again, you don't know what could happen. Poetic devices. So, poetic devices, usually in poems, are used to express feelings or a deeper meaning into what's going on. So, for example, Throughout the poem, Cummings uses imagery to kind of represent what love should feel like, and in this case, what love should look like. So, by doing this, the reader creates more of a connection to what love can be and goes even beyond that. For example, the last line, like I just discussed, that the author talks about death and love. So he does this so the reader could think about, okay, well, I know that when I'm alive, I can love this person for as long as I am alive. But what about after death? If you really love that person, like I said, you'll love them even after they are gone. Symbolism is used a lot. We could see how spring is mentioned by the speaker. Spring is usually to show like a new beginning. When you connect with this person, you're basically starting a new life and it's a new chapter in your life. And that's something really special. Okay, so the AP prompt. In E. Cummings' poem, Since Feeling is First, the poet explores the tension between emotions and reasoning, as well as the significance of love and human connection. Write an essay in which you analyze how Cummings employs poetic language, form, and literary techniques to challenge the conventional notions of love and wisdom. So you guys could just write the intro to that. And then now our activities. So for our activity, we've decided for you guys to create origami hearts. These are the steps. It's really easy. On the inside, or if you want to write it like on the outside of the heart so you can see it, just write a thank you to Miss Cabrera for being an amazing AP Lit teacher, or just something you really love about her, the way she teaches, anything you want, make it special. And at the end, we will collect all of them and then give it to her for her to read, for her to keep, whatever she wants to do. These are works cited, and I hope you guys enjoyed our analysis of our poem. Thank you.